Hey everybody, so this isn't really the ideal way I wanted to post a video, but we are in a bit of a time crunch, and it's not the ideal workout that I had envisioned, but I believe the message is more important than the length or the type of workout. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to dedicate this next run/long cardio session to raising awareness for autism, for special needs parents, and for disability awareness. Now, a lot of the time when people say something like they're running to raise autism awareness or disability awareness, I don't really know what that means. I'm sure it's a great thing, but I don't really know what it means a lot of the time. So what I mean when I say it is I wanted to bring to light a few things and to bring hope to a certain group of people. So firstly, like I said, I'm going to be doing a moderately long cardio session, but something that's going to bring me more motivation and more purpose behind it rather than just getting the run in, is dedicating it and hopefully bringing awareness through this video to people who need it. So one of the big things is I wanted to bring awareness to people who aren't very aware or choose to be ignorant to special needs, to people suffering with special needs or disabilities, and people who choose to be ignorant around parents who deal with this struggle of having a special needs child and the stresses that it can bring. It seems like people are so quick to get angry and jump to conclusions instead of trying to be understanding of other people's circumstances. How many times have you guys seen where in traffic, maybe someone's driving a little slow, the person behind them is honking, screaming, cussing, flipping them off, not even ever trying to consider the fact that maybe they had a terrible day. Maybe someone they know just passed away. Maybe they have a special needs child at home who they've been struggling to deal with or cope with through a lot of the morning. People would rather act out of anger than to consider other people's thoughts or emotions. I do it sometimes as well, but honestly, more times than not, when there's someone driving oddly in traffic or doing something, I think maybe they're distracted because maybe they had a terrible day. The last thing they need is for me to pull up honking at them or flipping them off. It's only gonna cost, what, 3 seconds in traffic for you to get to where you're going if there's a slight holdup? 4 seconds, 5 seconds? You choose to build upon that person's bad day by reacting in such a negative, aggressive way. And when I say I want to bring awareness to those who are ignorant or inconsiderate about special needs children, special needs parents, I can't count the times we've been in public and my son may be stimming or acting some type of way, and another parent will respond out of anger or frustration with zero compassion to what that child or myself happens to be going through. So for example, just last week, me, my special needs son, and a friend of mine and her special needs son were walking at the river. And throughout this time, we had to kind of remind our kids, especially hers, to stay on one side of the walkway, because one side is for walkers, the other is for like bikers, one side is for joggers, you know, etc. So we had to keep reminding him to go on one side of the walkway. Now, as we're walking up towards a lady, my friend's son keeps kind of drifting off to one side. And you can tell that he has a special circumstance. He's stimming, he's making noises, he's looking all around in a particular way. I'm sure that if this lady would have just taken a second to try to be understanding and react with compassion instead of rudeness and anger, she could have realized the situation. But instead, and don't get me wrong, we were frequently trying to get our children to go on the other side as to not be in people's way. We weren't just being oblivious and being lazy parents. Now, I know nowadays there's a lot of circumstances where there's just rude children and rude parents, but there's also a lot of great parents and great children. So maybe take that into consideration. But anyways, I mean, we were actively trying to get her child to go on the other side, but almost before we can even get him to, this lady who's walking up looks up, and her response is an angry face, looking at the child, looking at us, rude expression on her face, and then shaking her head at us like we're terrible parents. Now, what this lady had failed to consider or acknowledge was all the difficulty that not only that child may have been going through, but that my friend had been going through. They failed to consider the 40 minutes leading up to that point, the 40 minutes of struggling with his behaviors, the screaming, the stomping, the frequent trying to get him to go to the other side, him not listening, the trying to cope, the trying to hold back our own frustration and anger. That person also failed to consider possibly the 40 minutes to an hour leading up to that of getting this child ready, of more behavioral issues, just trying to get out the door while she's trying to manage her 2 children. And now we're talking about hours, not even to mention what other things may have happened in the day that we've been struggling to get through and trying to keep a level head through. So just to add to all the difficulties throughout the day for us and for my friend as a special needs parent, then we get this rude person who's shaking their head at us and giving the child angry looks. whereas they could have just been understanding. And we didn't respond with anger, but trust me, we joked about it once the lady passed, like, oh, what a. But so as the lady was passing, we kind of explained, hey, he's got, a special need, and she was like somewhat understanding, but not quite so much. But she's like, oh, you never consider that before you jump to anger. It's like that for so many of us, whether it be in traffic or somewhere else. We jump to anger and possibly make someone's day so much worse, never considering what that person may have already been through throughout the day. So anyways, like I was saying, I would like to do a long run and dedicate it to these things, and hope that people watch the video and bring awareness to these things, so that maybe in the future people can have a little bit more consideration to other people's circumstances, and that they'll jump to anger less and choose to opt more for understanding. So I'm about to do this at least 2-hour cardio session. We are on a bit of a time crunch. I have a shoot a little bit later, but so I hope that this session is able to inspire some people and to remind some people that also movement is medicine, and that relief from our stress is possible through movement, through this run. I know I will feel much better once it's done, and I hope some more of you special needs parents out there can manage to carve a little bit of time out for yourselves today to get yourself some relief. Get out of your head a little bit and get into your head a little bit. A lot of the times what I've found, and I've said it before, is that the difference is not subtle. It's fucking huge. Going out for a long run, it can really change your perspective on so many things and put you into more of a positive mindset. And what people needed more than those parents of those special needs children who have to practice so much compassion, so much restraint, so much love. Anyways, I hope you guys can carve out a little bit of time for yourselves today, because it can help so much, and I'm proof of that. Love you guys. Y'all have a good day.